Hello, Fellowship Baptist Church. My name is Jeff Smith. I'm with the Cowboy Church Network of North America. Pastor Dale invited me to speak with y'all today to just share our vision of what we're trying to accomplish in the cowboy world. You may not realize it, but there's horse people all around. There's a bunch of folks out there that are riding rodeos on the weekend or doing horse shows or doing the horse races, different kinds of things like that. And these people are riding under the radar of most traditional Southern Baptist churches. And as I met with them, I began to develop friendships with them. And before long, I had a whole passel of friends that were not Christians. And that's pretty exciting to me because, I've been a pastor of Southern Baptist churches at that time, 20 years, but they're all traditional churches, and most of my friends were saved and going to church. But now all of a sudden I've got all these friends they're just not believers. They're good people. There's wonderful people. Some of them a little rough around the edges, you can imagine, but they're good people. And my heart went out to them, and so I started trail riding with them and speaking to them about Jesus, saddle to saddle, and say, hey man, won't you come on out to my church on Sunday morning? And boy, I got a wall right then. They says, no sir, preacher, I ain't going to your fancy church with your fancy people. They wouldn't accept me there, me driving up in this old truck and coming in with these kind of clothes on. I don't have a suit. And I realized right then and there's several things going on. Number one, they think that the so-called fancy church and the fancy people wouldn't accept them, but you and I, we know we'd accept them, don't we? We do, but they don't. See, they don't know that we would accept them. And so that's a big problem, and it's a hurdle to jump. And I thought, man, what am I going to do? I said, come on, go to church with me Sunday. He said, preacher, I work all week long to pay for these horses and the feed and everything it takes to keep them up. I'm going to ride my horse on Saturday and Sunday. And I ain't getting ready to trade in my saddle for a pew. And so I said, I tell you what I'll do. I'll start a church in the bull riding arena on a Monday night if you'll come. And we'll call it Cowboy Church. They said, preacher, you do it, we'll come, and we'll bring our friends. Well, that first night, man, we started it, and I had a big old flatbed trailer out there, and had a big band on it. And then I invited the people to come. And I only had 4 weeks to start this church. I didn't know anything about church planting at the time. But we had 68 people show up. I preached the gospel of Jesus, and 5 people got saved. And later, I baptized them in the horse trough. Yeah, I did. And I'm telling you, it took off from there, and we kept starting churches and kept doing it. Man, God just blessed that thing. As a matter of fact, the guy who is the pastor of that church now got saved in that church back then. And so I just praised the Lord. I just discipled him up, trained him, and taught him, and gave him the church. And he took off with it. But here's the deal. We need partners. We need friends like you that would be looking around in your own area and saying, what can we do to start a cowboy church in our area? I guarantee you got cowboys in your area. In Rome, Georgia, why yeah, man, there's cowboys all around there ready for rodeo. And there's trail riders, some of the most beautiful countries out y'all's way. And they're out there exploring the country on Sunday mornings out there. What could you do? How could y'all get together to support a cowboy church in your area, to help motivate starting one? And I can tell you something. Cowboy churches, number one, they're inexpensive to start. Number two, it ain't just for cowboys. Did you know that most of the people that come to a cowboy church don't have a cow or a horse? That's the truth. But they love that flavor. We meet in a barn just like this. In fact, look, let me show you how it looks out here. We got just an old barn. This is our Cowboy Church. This is one of the churches we meet in. And it's just simply an old barn. That's all we got to meet in. How about that? Isn't that something? And so that's what we're meeting in. And it don't cost much to do this. But souls are getting saved. Lives are being changed. Christians are being discipled, and people are being sent out into the mission field to do more work. It's incredible what God is doing through the cowboy churches throughout North America. The Cowboy Church Network exists to impact the cowboy culture with the gospel of Jesus by planting cowboy churches in every county, province, and territory. Last cowboy church I started last year was up in Canada. I flew from Midland, North Carolina, back to Saskatchewan, Canada, back and forth every month. And now there's a church up and running up there in Canada. Just recently we went on the Cowboy Church Big Circle Tour, where I went through and I ministered in each one of these states that I mentioned, in Virginia 2 times, in in Pennsylvania. I trained a bunch of people to start a Cowboy Church there. In New York, we met, and I know some people think New York's just New York City. Man, they got some of the most beautiful country in the world there in New York near Buffalo, and we went up and we had a Cowboy Church service there, just a sample service, let them see how it's done. They want to start a Cowboy Church. We went up into Canada and plowed some fields up there trying to get something started there. Pray for Canada. That's a focus for us now. Then we came on back down to Ohio, and we did a sample service there. They're already getting ready to launch their church now. Came on down to back in through West Virginia, and then in Virginia, and had a big Cowboy Church tent meeting out in the middle of a pasture, horses all around and everything. And God blessed it, and it went well. And then we came on back to Midland to our own Cowboy Church here in the barn. And God is blessing this all over. Now, what you can do, number one, you can pray. You can pray and get with your pastor, and y'all work together on a strategy that works for your church. And maybe together y'all can help us as we help start more Cowboy churches. I stand ready to help you any way I can. And may God bless you in your worship experience today and the rest of your life. God bless you.